Uh, Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to welcome you all on behalf of Team Avatar and my avatar to this webinar titled Role of Sports in Career, Upward and Beyond. I'm Beena Menon, and I will be your host for this evening. Before we begin, here are a few hygiene checks for a seamless virtual experience. Please close all other applications on your computer and log out from your organization's VPN to conserve internet bandwidth. Avatar, a pioneer in the field of diversity, equity, and inclusion, had the vision to see more women participate in the workforce. We have expanded our impact across diversity strands to cover people with special needs, disabilities, LGBTQ. Avatar Group, a Stanford Seed certified company, has built its DEI offerings under 4 EDs, which ensures that every organization can have a clear path towards moving forward, building and sustaining diverse, equitable, and inclusive workspaces. For its transformational impact in the realms of DEI, Avatar Group was listed in the prestigious Steward Leadership 25 listing by Straits Times and INSEAD at Singapore in 2022. Dr. Saundarya Rajesh, founder president of Avatar Group, is one of India's most respected thought leaders on diversity, equity, and inclusion. An award-winning social entrepreneur, she is best known as the pioneer of second career opportunities for women in corporate India. A relentless advocate of the potential of women in workplace, Dr. Saundarya is the founder of successful social enterprises such as Avatar Career Creators, Flexi Careers India, Brihat Insights Global, and Avatar Human Capital Trust. Her latest brainchild, myavatar.com, is India's first diversity job portal for candidates belonging to the underrepresented talent groups, people with disabilities, people with LGBTQ identity, and veterans. As pioneers of DEI in India, Avatar is proud to present this diversity job portal, myavatar.com, and is committed to shine the spotlight on candidates who have qualification, talent, passion, and drive for career success, not on their differences. In fact, we at Avatar know that it is the differences that makes everyone unique and invaluable. myavatar.com was recognized as one of the top 10 promising job portals by Silicon India. This series of webinars from myavatar.com aims to cover and bring to you those value adds and topics that can help you with your career and at your workspace. I, Beena Menon, once again welcome you all on behalf of Team Avatar, India's premier diversity, equity, and inclusion solution firm, and myavatar.com, India's only diversity hiring portal, to My Avatar webinar. Let's celebrate ourselves. Sports are not just about physical fitness. It also plays a crucial role in career development. Sports instill essential skills such as teamwork, leadership, and goal setting, which are crucial in any career. The role of sports in career growth and development will be the focus of our webinar this evening. And who else could be better to take us through this session other than Saaniya Sharma, international professional golfer who has added many accolades and feathers to her cap as a professional Indian women golfer. Saaniya, a professional golfer on the Ladies European Tour, Ladies Asian Golf Tour, and a member of Women's Golf Association of India, has carved her career in this space successfully with her grit, passion, and hard work. A very warm welcome to you, Saaniya, to this session, and handing over the session to you.
Thank you, Beena. What a pleasure it is and an honor to be talking here at this platform. And I look forward to having a nice interactive session with everybody on here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen where I have the deck. Is it visible to everybody?
Not yet, Saaniya.
Shares.
Yeah, it's come up now. You can go ahead.
Okay, so hi everybody. I'm Saaniya Sharma. I'm a professional golfer, and I have played on the European tour, the Asian tour, and I'm playing on the Indian tour as well. At the same time, I'm also a professional coach and a rules official in the game of golf, and I officiate all tournaments, whether it be men's events, women's events, and it's nothing but just a pleasure to be able to do this, to call it my livelihood. At the same time, I'm just very, very blessed to be able to call my passion my profession. And the main theme of our conversation or interaction today would be this the role of sports in our lives and how life changes. To start with, um, the sports and its impact on one's life. To maintain a work-life balance with a successful career is very, very difficult. And also to be able to manage the exhaustion of the brain and everything. Sports does play a very significant role, not just within the sports industry, but also as an athlete, or just as a person who goes and wents out on the golf on various fields to just go enjoy yourself. In my case, my story is that I was very academically inclined. I was very, very interested in studying, and I had physics, chemistry, math, and bio. I wanted to be a marine biologist, and it's, I guess, my father who pushed me into wanting to play a sport called golf, and I'm so blessed that I had such encouragement at home. Sports not just get sports is something that gets you a whole lot in your life. It's not just the financial rewards. As a sports person, I've had the pleasure of meeting really accomplished people in life. Sports has given me fame. It has given me a substantial amount of recognition. That sense of accomplishment and fulfillment you achieve when you actually set goals and you're able to work towards them and see progress, and also just the fact that you've got to accept that every time the results aren't what one wants, really. The sense of pride that you've been able to fulfill your dreams, or not just fulfill your dreams. If you're playing a team sport, then you're able to live up to the expectations of the team and the people supporting you. So just for the community that you play for them, sports does have a very, very positive impact on society. We've seen numerous cases of people who've moved from very unpleasant backgrounds and unpleasant social scenarios to the usage of sport to just get them to perform better and do better in their lives. Overall, I think nothing better than playing a sport. It's all about the well-being. We do speak about the ability to maintain one's healthy quality of life, like the different kinds of well-beings. There's physical, there's emotional, there's social, spiritual well-being, career, intellectual, creative, and environmental, as you can see on the deck that I'm presenting. Physical well-being would be something to do with whatever your body has. The emotional and the mental and the career part of it, we're going to discuss all of these at length, because they do affect every part of our being. As much as we in our country have not been encouraged to get into the sports culture or the sporting culture, I think it's something that's imperative and must be brought into all aspects, whether it be the corporate lives or whether it be the school lives, and it really does change the society overall on the whole. It leads to success. Success is actually the endeavor to put in the effort with the correct intention. But when you look at it spiritually, as much as we work hard and we strive towards achieving our goals and all of those, we do have to accept whatever comes our way and accept the results the way they are. So it's more of working on the process instead of working towards the outcome or looking at the outcome. And I think this is where a whole lot of what we do in our lives comes into being. The physical aspect would include um, the replenishing of strength, like when you're out there, when you've had a long day at work, that people who do so many activities like say a swim or yoga and all to feel fresh about them. These various kind of sports make a lot of difference in the way you can actually combat various diseases. It changes the way you're regulating your emotions, the release of feel good hormones which help, like not just endorphins but also there's oxytocin and cortisol. So every time it has actually been scientifically proven that every time somebody is depressed or unhappy, they are encouraged to have movement around, which helps them release these feel good hormones, which kind of get you out of depression and other sad emotions. You can channelize your negative emotions. If you're angry, there's so many times people went out on various fields and courts that they go vent it out so that they're not damaging themselves or people around them. Again, these feel-good hormones help you elevate your mood. There are people who are encouraged to play sports and in fact, not just sports, but doing activities like yoga and stuff. They help you boost your concentration and alertness. There's so much, and these are all just well-being things that I'm talking about to generally touch up on the good aspects of the sport, not just the physical part of it. We also would like to focus on the emotional and the mental part of it. As we know that sports is all about winning and losing. Losing continuously or winning continuously is something that doesn't come with the part of the sport. So it helps you become resilient to accepting the results as they are and coping up, with the stress in return. Then whenever we come back from very hectic, busy schedules in the corporate world, it is one way of venting out all our energies, all our burnouts, because the frustrations come out, the stress, the anxiety. There's so many ways of, taking them all out. It helps in better cognitive functioning. It helps boost confidence and build patience with yourself and your expectations. And as much as we take these for granted, the more somebody plays a sport or gets used to playing sports is where it really helps and tames your mind. And taming the mind, I think, is one of the main things to succeeding in anything in life. The more emotional we are, I think, in today's world, one tends to not be very, very successful. You've got to also have the practical approach in life. Sorry. Now coming to the part that most of us are actually moving on to in our lives, which is the spiritual well-being. We've all been talking about, actually overall the consciousness in the world has been seen that the overall consciousness of the world is changing. And at the end of the day, I think I can't harp enough on focusing on the process instead of the outcomes. And there are things which are not under our control. And I think there's nothing else that teaches us about it more than playing a sport, because there are so many external factors that can change the complete desired result of the end of the game or the final result. So spiritually, it teaches you so many things like patience and, resilience, perseverance, and so many acceptance being one of them. So this, I guess, is something that we all must focus on a whole lot. Benefits of sport on career growth and social well-being. Well, I mean, these are just a few points that I could pick to share with you all. But and I'm going to read them out because I think each and every point is very important. There's teamwork that a good sport teaches you, not just an individual sport, but a team sport. It teaches you endurance, where you learn how to keep going at it regardless, and fair play, where It actually tells you whether you're a cheater in life or not. Doing it right and having proper morals about it is really important. Competitiveness in the corporate world or at work is very, very important because it helps you strive to be the best version of yourself. And there's sacrifice in terms of there are times when you've got to step back to let somebody else do the job because you know that they are going to be able to do a better job at it. Accountability is where we talk about how we put in our efforts and whatever we need to do, how that results in getting the overall outcome. Integrity, something as we've spoken about, fair play is very, very important. I think it teaches you, and every sport there's integrity. In a game like mine, which is golf, we don't have people looking at us all the time. We have 4 hours to play a round of golf, and it's all about how we play the game and how we are honest, because and I think that's what people talk about my game, that this is one game which is the closest to life because it kind of teaches you everything that you are about, and it teaches you about integrity and whether you yourself are a cheat in life or otherwise. Playing a sport, any kind of sport, helps in discipline, and there's the until and unless you don't have discipline in life, in any aspect, in any sphere of life, you won't be able to do what you got to do, right? There's honor, because obviously honor comes in from the fact that you are out there. There are times when you're representing a community, you're playing for somebody, you're playing in a team. So there's honor in the victory and honor in the way you perform in that sport. There's elegance in that, community building, liberality. Time management, again, in certain individual sports, you learn how to manage your time and organizational skills. Then there's responsibility, because you're not responsible just for yourself or your performance, but also for the responsibility of the entire team. If you're captaining a team, there's responsibility of you making the team want to win. There's accountability. You've got to trust the process. And I think I've repeated this at the cost of repetition. I can't harp enough on the fact that there are times when you've just got to do and give in your best. And it does help in every other factor in your life. It helps break social barriers. There are times when you play a sport. I mean, look at the kind of people who are playing the sports where they're representing India. They come from all spheres, all backgrounds in their lives. They've worked hard. They've been patient. They've really gone from rags to riches. They, not just financially, but also for the achievements that they've had and made us all proud as Indians. It teaches leadership, because the more you go out there and the more you kind of work towards making decisions, it helps you own responsibility and take an onus of your actions and everything. It helps in strategic thinking, where you've got to plan on what it would take to kind of do something to be able to win a tournament or to win at a local match or whatever it is. There's so many massive mergers and collaborations that I've seen while playing a casual round of golf, where there are these big CEOs who just during a normal conversation talk about what their company is all about. And I've seen them happening live in front of me. So collaborations is something that happens a lot, especially on a golf course. And then there's, as and when you learn to play a sport, you learn to communicate and let people know how you're feeling. You're more in with your body, you know what you're talking about. Then in a team spirit, there's a spirit of camaraderie where you're talking about it. And I guess it all helps in combating all the sorts of negative emotions very, very positively. So all these factors, although they might sound repetitive, but these are things that we don't really understand until we actually sit down and realize how important it is to be able to play a sport. How do we create a sporting culture? Well, we've got all these role models in front of us, which I think, and they all really need to, they not just need, they deserve all the applause for all the hard work that they've all put in. It's not easy to be able to play a sport in our country, especially being a woman. It's not the easiest. They've got to go a lot. We don't come from a sporting community overall per se. Like in school, I remember most of the times when I was young, we had our zero periods, which were basically the sport period, the PE period for the day, for the week. We had one in the entire year. And when I actually go out and compete with athletes from all around the world, they actually pay a lot of attention to the physical, uh, well-being of their kids and students, and they're just not just one zero period or one sport period. They have periods every given day where they're focusing on at least learning or developing qualities on playing one sport. These are the famous people. We really need role models, and hats off to all these ladies who've worked very, very hard to achieve what they have. And at least we know sport because of these ladies. This is something that's something that we need in our country. How to create a sporting culture? Well, just that we need to talk more about it. We don't pay enough attention. Yes, we do have a lot of social stigmas and a whole lot of social problems that we deal with. But as spoken above, with all the points that I've given, I think sports does change the perspective on one's life and behavior, and it does change somebody's characters. As an individual, you change when you learn to play a team sport or an individual sport, and how you want to deal with the situations thrown at you. We need spaces. I think the government is doing a great job with the various campaigns that they're coming up with. And I see that because I am very closely associated, not just with golf, but with the tennis, badminton, and football world as well. And cricket as well. And I think there's a massive change and paradigm shift rather in the kind of influx of people coming in and wanting to put their kids into playing the game. But it's not just about the kids, it's also about people as individuals who are middle-aged people and older people who are getting encouraged to play these sports, and access to these spaces is very, very important. Creating a safe space is something that I think people themselves overall as a society, we're becoming aware, and we're trying to do that. There have been a very, very big number of girls teams that have started coming up. And just the growth of seeing how the women's hockey team or the women's cricket team is doing well, I think is something that is very, very encouraging for people who are associated with any sport, not just professionally, but otherwise. We need to challenge the negative stereotypes, which I think in today's world is really changing. And the role models, as I've spoken about, they're doing a great job. The access, and I think I've already touched upon these factors right here, which have been a little bit of a roadblock. But the fact that the government's making an effort with so many more sports being introduced with the Olympic Council, I think more money is being pumped into any sport. I would say including a game like golf, which is considered to be a rich man's sport. Well, there was no access to golf courses. Now there are public golf courses, there are public ranges where people can learn sport. There have been so many stadiums that have been created for people being able to play a sport. In the evenings, there are societies that have their own sporting areas and things like that. Then there's safety and transportation, which is being taken care of. So I think with the social media, the lack of exposure has been taken care of. So all these factors are not just helping us develop a liking towards sport, but also the awareness is bringing more people into sport. And I think sport is the way out. Not just physically, mentally, emotionally. I mean, overall, it touches all the aspects of well-being. In fact, so many big companies are investing a lot of their time, efforts to ensure that their employees get enough engagement in sport. They have their sporting weekends, they have their sporting getaways, they have their competitions. They're actually pumping in money into sport and then getting recognition from them. I've got a few of them online here, where there are so many companies that have also started gym memberships and fitness classes for the health and well-being of these. Then there's sports teams that are being encouraged, and in the slide, if you can see, most of the biggies, they're all investing in a lot of sports for their employees. Google has its own team matches, and there's Facebook, there's Intel, there's Apple, all these big companies, because they do realize the importance of sport and the encouragement and growth for all individuals in life. Empowering women is something that we really need to do, and I think there is something. This is something which will have the most positive impact on sport overall. It will lead to a huge change in the direction. We need motivation and inspiration, which is coming from people who are going out there and already achieving things. And this is not purely at the level of just professional sport, but also in their local teams, in their local societies, in the local gullies, everywhere. We need to generate support, and I think there are a lot of corporates who are doing that. It is helping. It's still needed in our country desperately, but it's still going on. Then knowledge and exposure and what sport as an overall thing. Like, there's so many influencers that are coming up on social media who are helping promote sport and helping promote the well-being, educating people on how important it is for the overall growth and development of the country and the happiness quotient in the world. We all need to start at all the grassroots levels, but these grassroots levels will happen only when the people above are educated and the youngsters get to see examples of how people are happier with the inculcation of sports in our country. And that would be all from the decks, Beena, and I'd be happy to answer any questions from anybody.
Any questions? People, please do use the chat box to put in your questions, and we will take it up from there. Saaniya, we have a couple of questions that we have received a little earlier. So,
Sure.
So one of the questions that has come up is golf being a solo sport. What are the specific skills that helped you strengthen when it came to professional teamwork?
Golf is an individual sport, but when you're playing, there are normal natural games that we play when we're playing. It's all about coordination and cooperation. It's all about team building when you're actually supporting your partner. So although we actually have individual scores, but there are times when you're playing two people against two people, and there's cooperation between them. Then there's self-reliance, but at the same time, you know that you're doing it for a bigger cause. So these are things. Then you learn to encourage your opponent, because that's what it is. You encourage them, then you try your hardest to kind of beat them. So it's just what you got to do. And then you also learn to play on your own strengths. What happens in that is then you learn from others on what their strengths are, and you try to get better with your own strengths. So it's just a very nice and productive way of doing things.
Okay. Another question that has come up is many times we miss a target by a whisker. How did you manage facing such situations, and what made you go for the next strike?
As heartbreaking as that is, I think the only thing that can let you get through that is your positive attitude, your resilience, your perseverance. As fancy as these words sound, it's not. It is actually something that one has to strive towards and work very hard to kind of accept. Acceptance. Then there's then you check back and realize where all you're going wrong and what all went wrong. So then you work on your recovery and recoup, and then there's integrity and all of those things. There's consistency. There's so much that goes into just playing any sport. And these are just traits that one learns to master. And I think the biggest thing that helps is acceptance, and then working towards or striving towards just getting better.
Okay, I think that's a good point, because in professional life, also in your career too, yes, there are moments where you face that challenge of missing out by a whisker in a lot of situations. And I think the success is where when you leave that behind, move forward and take the next stride to be there on top once again.
You don't get disheartened. You've just got to realize where you messed up or where you fell short, and then you just got to work harder with and come back with conviction. You've got to just say, okay, this is where I kind of lacked. That is why probably I didn't succeed. Instead of blaming it on external factors and crying and harping about it, acceptance again, and then moving on to whatever comes next.
Okay, that's fantastic. Learning from your mistakes and moving forward. I think that's a great lesson for anybody's. It's just not in career or professional life or a sporting career, but I think it just helps you in your life as such. Learn from your mistakes and move forward.
Absolutely.
Any further questions? Anything else anybody would like to ask Saaniya?
I think I spoke too much there. Like, we got all our answers. Thank you very much.
Absolutely no, absolutely not anything. We'll just wait for a couple of minutes just to check out if anybody else would like to ask some questions. Saaniya, you can stop sharing your screen.
Sure.
So I think that's it. So that was a real great and impactful session, Saaniya. So learning, practice, hard work is some of the most important aspects to success. But the most important key to success is when you trust your own skills and what you have learned. Nothing like it. So trust your own skills and have confidence in yourself.
That's true.
So another thing is develop self-esteem, regulate behavior and habits, learn leadership and communication skills, learn patience, and develop resilience when things don't go as planned. These are some great learnings from sports that will help anyone grow up in their careers too.
Right.
So, yeah. So on that note, I think we have come to an end to this
Veena,
session.
I think Kanika's asked a question in the chat box.
Yeah, let me.
I have an answer to this, Kanika. Hi, Kanika.
Yes, please.
Nice to see you again. So what you're asking me is I want to know how to help children balance choices between balancing academics and sports. Well, I think I see a lot of my kids do that because I'm a coach as well. And, training these kids to do well at a junior level. And I'm going to talk about my sport because that's something I have expertise in. We have kids at the age of 3 who start playing golf, and it does take a toll on everybody because there is a lot of hard work that goes into playing a sport. Now, how to balance between academics and sports? Well, academics is something that the kid does pay a lot of attention to, but making them join camps and making them join a few camps which are alternate days and over the weekends while they're still focusing on sport is something that's very important because academics do get you someplace, but sporting is also, when you talk about sports, what level you want to play at, what kind of dedication and time you want to devote to something is something that you as a parent or the kid as a kid needs to decide, and basis that you kind of make your timetables and schedules and do whatever you needs to be done. But something that is very important is that you do encourage your kids to play golf, play any sport, not golf, sorry. But it's very important. And I think I can't repeat it enough, or I can't harp enough on the fact that it does really help you become a better individual, become a better person. If you're taking it professionally, it is a lot of hard work. It is a lot of, effort that goes into it. There are times when we see success stories, but there are a whole lot of people who actually work very hard. You just got to work hard, keep at it.
I think there's another question that has come up, Saaniya, in the chat from Samar. Will I really be successful in sports in India?
That's a very interesting question. It's and the fact that you're saying there's a myth that good talents are not given the space they deserve, I don't think I'd agree with that. Although contacts and connects do help, but if you've got it, there's nothing that can stop you from succeeding. There are a lot of factors and circumstances that change, the trajectory of one's growth or one's success in the game. But if you work hard, there's no other alternative and there's no other shortcut to success. So if you say you're going to be successful in sport, what sport you pick up, the kind of efforts, and again, the kind of recognition that that sport has in the country is something that will change the way you define your success in any sport.
Anything more?
You're welcome, Samuel. But just keep at it. If it's a dream, then dreams and dedication really do take you places. I can give you my own example. I've not given up. I've worked very, very hard. I've had my share of ups and downs, but I think keeping at it and being resilient is something that will keep you going. And you've got to want it from within. So even if like you have a goal and you can't achieve it, you've got to change the process in which you achieve the goal, not the goal. The end goal has to be the same. You've got to keep changing the way you do it.
That was really inspiring, sir. I need to hear it from you.
No, I'm saying it's straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, that's right.
I've dealt through all emotions. Sports do come with a lot of emotions that everyone does deal with. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of endurance, and yes.
And frustration. I'm sorry, I'm butting in, but it does entail a lot of frustration as well. But then that's what you've got to focus on, not the bad parts of it, but what you want to work towards, your own personal goals.
Yes, and as you compare it to a corporate life or a career, I think it's a similar thing. You go through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of frustrations, a lot of good moments are there, a lot of bad moments are there. But ultimately, when you come out there on top and be a winner, that moment is something which is quite. I mean, you can't explain
those. It is
those.
rewarding. It is.
Yeah, it's very rewarding. Yes, of course. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
And the fact that when you've succeeded and when you've seen the lowest of lows, that's when you kind of appreciate it a lot more. And this is in all forms of, all aspects of life, whatever it is, academic, career, sport, work, anything.
Yeah, I think there's another question that has come up, Saaniya. How can we encourage children to take sports along with academic focus?
That's exactly what I answered to Kanika as well. The fact that I think there is a lot of new academies that are opening up. There are a lot of new places where they're teaching different sports. So bringing your kids to just joining camps, be it summer camps, right now the summer vacations are on, be it summer camps and going through school programs. There's a whole lot of various sporting federations which are investing a lot in schools and their academies around the country. So I think that's something that you must do. At least every alternate day, get your kid to play a part of a sport and things like that. These things really help the overall growth as an individual for kids. Your child's perspective towards life will change. The way they get into playing team sports, so then they become more of a team player, and their integrity changes. They learn so many things when they play any sport.
Anything more? Come on, Saaniya is here to answer your questions. You can hear it from her directly, horse's mouth. So feel free to put in your questions onto the chat box.
Also, with people who have kids, give them rewards. These are things that entice kids, and incentives really, really help.
So I think nothing more coming in, or should we wait for another 1 more minute to see if something more is coming in, and wherein you can probably start sharing your personal experiences here or something that you've gone through, some story from your life.
Well, I can start with a story. It's just, I think, again, I'm talking as a professional golfer here. And there was a time where I got injured and I continued playing. In 2018, I couldn't lift a pen to be able to play. I mean, my left arm was so badly injured that I to play. I could pick up a pen, and that was a very, very low point in my life. And when you're somebody who's so active, you kind of you tend to keep going down the drain and down the rabbit hole. But then this is where I think I can't harp enough on the fact that I think playing a sport kept me going. And it's not because I was a professional golfer, but when I was injured, I didn't do anything. And it reached a point where the hormones were so bad because you're like not doing any physical activity. And although I couldn't play professionally, but just being able to go out and do some physical form of exercise changed my entire outlook, where I was, instead of falling into a stage where I could be sad or depressed, I was working towards just my fitness and trying to get better. And I think physical activity, not as a professional athlete, but just physical activity as an individual, kind of helped me get out of a lot of things, including things with like sleep issues and then sadness and all of those. So that's why I kept harping on the fact that they do release a lot of feel-good hormones and factors that help you get through life in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think we should all get out there and be involved in some kind of activity that keep us busy, or rather keep us all healthy and emotionally fit and physically fit too, which helps us in various other ways in life.
Absolutely. That's something I'd highly encourage everybody to pick up.
Yeah, that's good. Yes, yeah. So I think we are coming to the end of the session here. And thank you so much, Saaniya, for giving us such a wonderful session, such a lot of impactful informations that you have shared with us today. Thank you so much once again for being with us here.
The pleasure was all mine. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about it.
Thank you, everybody, for being with us this evening and being a participant and being a lovely audience to the session. As we draw close to the day, I'm going to request you to take a couple of minutes and provide your feedback on today's session. Please bring up the feedback poll, please. Just a second. I think there is some technical glitch. Once again. Sorry, there was a small technical glitch. We couldn't bring it up on time. So here is a few questions for you to answer, which will help us understand your experience at today's session. How would you rate today's session on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the minimum and 5 being the maximum? And how would you rate our facilitator, Saaniya Sharma, on a scale of 1:5, 1 being the minimum and 5 being the maximum? While you fill in the feedback form, let me iterate that there will be many more sessions that will be rolled from My Avatar in the coming months. Stay tuned and look out for our announcements. Please visit www.myavatar.com to explore various opportunities and activities that celebrate diversity. If you have not registered at myavatar.com as yet, do log on to myavatar.com and register now. Browse through to find jobs that might suit your skill sets, read articles of interest, upskill yourself through various webinars conducted exclusively for you. Thank you once again for joining us this evening. Signing off today is Veena Menon. Take care, stay safe, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.